see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. And Amwinde, you are welcome to the conversation. And how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you, sir?
No, we are good. We are good. Please feel comfortable. Enjoy the session. In case there are people who have not been around, we are continuing making revising and preparing for the exam. And this is what we are doing. And this paper that we have is for which year is this? Let me just see the top part of it. I've forgotten this is 2022. You can see it, isn't it? Sees the distance 2022 August exams, and this is macroeconomics. And yeah, I want us to go through, but as of today, I'm just picking I'm picking question number 3. Let's start from question number 3. We'll be fine. We'll finish it very soon. Yeah. Let me just use, I think a red marker is much more visible than any other. Confirm you can see the screen. Are we connected? Can you still see the screen? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, question 3 is saying, suppose you have the following information about a closed economy. So the information is that C, which is a consumption function, is made up of autonomous consumption of 200, and the marginal propensity of 0.8 or 80%, if you may like, multiplied by Y minus taxes, Y less taxes. And the investment function is given as 15. Then the government expenditure is 100 kwacha. Tax is given as 10 kwacha. All right. And so you are required to find out the equilibrium level of national income, Y. So how do we find Y? How do we find national income based on the data that we have? First of all, I want us to remember that, or to get to learn that the national income has got, there are 3 actual approaches that are used to, to account for national income. We have what we call expenditure approach. There is also what we call the income approach. It's just a quick reminder. Then there is also what we call the value-added approach, right? The value-added approach. These are the 3 approaches that are used to calculate or find the, income. Now, with the expenditure approach, listen carefully. So this is where you total all expenditure for the nation. And so your Y, which is your income in this case, we usually use Y to represent income, not I. I is for investment. It is your income is spent on consumption plus investments plus government expenditure. And this economy that we have, we are told that it is closed. When you hear that the economy is closed, it simply means it's not trading with other nations. And so if the economy is not trading with other nations, it means they are not importing and they're not exporting at the same time. So it's just, a 3-sector approach, just like that. It doesn't involve the foreign world. So we will not add that part which you usually add the component for net exports. This one for exports minus imports. We don't add it in this question, but we usually add it. We add this component when we are having an open economy. And when we say the economy is open, we simply mean that that economy is able to trade with other economies or other nations. So that is to say they are exporting, they are also importing at the same time. That is for expenditure approach. So when you consolidate, okay, when you consolidate what you spend on consumption plus what you invest plus what the government spends plus the difference or the net exports, that gives you income, all right, our national income, like that. Then the income approach, this is where you add all forms of income, right? All forms of income. They give you the same answer. The income approach will have all forms of income as derived from the factors of production. Are we able to remember some factors of production? Factors of production for microeconomics. Like those factors of production that we use, we have things like land, right? So from land, we get rent. That is a form of income. We also have labor, and from labor, we get salaries and wages, right? We also have machines or capital, and from capital and investments, we make interest. That is income as well. And from that, we also enterprise. There is business entrepreneurship, and from entrepreneurship, you get profits like that. So these forms of income, rent, salaries, interest, all right, those are gains on investments, plus the profits from entrepreneurship added together, they make national income as well. So we consolidate how much money is raised from rent by the nation and is raised by those people who are working salaries, and is raised through investments, that is the interest rates gained, and also from profits that those people who are enterprising really get. So when you add together all that, that forms national income. It's called the national income. It is called the income approach. Then the value added approach basically is that one where we are just consolidating the value that has been added at each stage of production. So the message that I am sending is this now. I'm not here to confuse, but just trying to help us understand. When you look at the question, first of all, you need to understand what you're looking at. So what economy are you looking at? Is it a closed economy? Is it an open economy? Or what? We are already told it's a closed economy. And we know what it means when you say the economy is closed this time around. And then you look at what approach is going to be the most appropriate in this question. Are we going to use expenditure approach? Are we going to use the income approach? Are we going to use value added? That is dependent on the information that you're given in the question. Wanting now to pose a question to the class. What does the class think about, this question? What approach do you think we can use based on the data that we have? Are we using income approach? Are we using expenditure approach? What approach do you think we can use? Are we still connected?
Honestly, I think the expenditure report.
Thank you very much. So we will go ahead and use the expenditure approach. Let's use the expenditure approach, right? And the expenditure approach is going to have the consumption. As we already know, it's consumption plus investments plus government expenditure. In our case, since it's a closed economy, but the consumption function has been given as 200 plus 0.80, open the bracket, y minus taxes, All this is what? Is consumption, according to the question we have. Plus investments. Investment is how much? Is 50, right? Investment is 50. Plus government expenditure, you see? I mean, is 100. So this will give us 150. So we'll say y is equal to 200 plus 0.80 multiplied by y minus taxes of 10. The tax is 10, that's what's given in the question, plus 150. And so what we are doing is that we are solving for y. We are making y the subject of the formula. So you can say y is equal to 200 plus 150. This should give us 350, right? Plus 0.8 times y. This should be 0.80y minus 0.80 times 10. This should be 8, right? 0.80 times 10.
8.
It should be 8. Okay, it's 8. Okay, and then we continue from there. What do we have next? We're going to say y is equal to, make the subject of the formula all the like terms. This, everything that has y will cross the equal sign to the other side where there is y. So we'll cross this to the other side. Then we'll have 350 minus 8. Okay. And when we solve, we get y minus 0.8y. What do we get? Y minus 0.8y. Okay. You know, there is invisible one here, by the way, on where there is y. You know, we don't say 1y in math. You remember that mathematics, right? From first year. They told you that you can't say 1y, 1x, and turn. So we already know there is 1 here. So you just say 1 minus 0.8. This should give us 0.20y, right? And we divide through by 0.20 by 0.20 to get the value of y, so that we can get the value of y. And what is the value of y? What do we get as the value of y?
Getting 1070.
1,710, right? 1,710. Is there any question from anyone? Anyone has a question? No questions, sir? We can proceed. Okay. Then the next question is saying, suppose that the government expenditure has been increased to 150, not by 150. That's a different question, right? Government expenditure G has been increased to 150. What's a new equilibrium level of income? Now G has been raised from 100 to 150, which means it has increased by how much? By 50, right? It has just changed by 50. So the change in income, delta, this triangle simply means change, right? Delta Y simply means change in income. Y is for income. The change in income, that is as a result of the change in government expenditure multiplied by the government multiplier. So this government expenditure, that change in government expenditure, it is started to have much more impact in the output. The output will be greater than the change itself, right? So the assumption is that if the government spends some money, let's say they spend 50 million, That 50 million, when it is injected in the economy, the output that it will bring, it will not be 50 million. It will be greater than 50 million. Yes. In terms of the level of production, the value that is going to be produced from that, it will be greater than that. All right? And because of that, then it is only right for us to conclude that there is a multiplier effect. And that multiplier is called the government multiplier. So now, the government multiplier is found by saying 1 divided by 1 minus MPC, marginal propensity to consume, times the change in government expenditure. All right? That is by how much income will change. You are asking me, what is marginal propensity to consume? Marginal propensity to consume is basically the proportion. It is the proportion of income that is spent on consumption for every unit increase in income. I repeat, when income increases by whatever amount, part of that increase shall be used, for consumption, and the other will be used for saving. Okay? The other fraction will be used for saving. Okay? That is the assumption we are working with. So, marginal propensity to consume is basically that proportion that you're going to consume. And it is always gotten from the consumption function. And I said this is the marginal propensity to consume, the 0.80. So when you are calculating, you just say change in G, government expenditure, it has changed by 50, right? Positive 50, it has not declined. If it was a reduction, not an increase, a decrease, you could have put a negative here, negative that, showing that income was going to reduce, right? Is that a question?
Yes, sir. Just wondering why we've
Yes,
gone to this formula instead
not
of
the previous.
using the previous one and just changing on the government
On the
expenditure.
G.
Yes.
Oh, what a good question it is. Thank you so much for that question. The reason is what I've just explained. If you don't account for the multiplier effect that I was trying to explain, the output will just increase by the same amount. You see, your output will just increase by that 50, which is not true. You get the point, eh? If you just change where there is 50 there, you add that 50, becomes 150. And when you solve the output, it will show as if the output will increase by the same amount that you increase government expenditure. But that is not true in real life, even in practice. When you inject whatever amount that you inject, you don't expect to receive the same in terms of output production. The level of output, the level of production will increase. The output will be actually far much greater than, what you injected. So to account for that, then we bring in the concept of the multiplier effect. That is how that's why we went for this route. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So now let's go ahead and find this. What is 1 divided by 1 minus 0.8? This will be 0.20, obvious, when deduct it from 1. So what is 1 divided by 0.20? Is it 5? Should be 5. Thank you. 5 times 50, giving us 250, right? Okay. So this simply means that income will change by what? Actually, since it is positive, it is an increase. Income shall increase by how much? It will increase by 250. Which means that where it was, the new income will be the order income, which was 1710, you gave us, plus this 250. That will be your new level of income. Is that clear? You got that one? Any question there? Okay.
Maybe
Now the next, yes,
say
sir. Yes,
again,
sir.
sir.
Okay, thank you. So we have calculated that our income has increased by 250, right? It has increased by 250, which means we just have to add 250 to the old income, the older income there, the original one before the change in G. It was 1710. That is what we calculated. Just add 250 to that amount. That will give you the new equilibrium level of income. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the next question is asking us to calculate for spending multiplier, which is government spending multiplier. It's just 1 divided by 1 minus MPC. We have already calculated for this one. I think that's why it's just 2 marks, 0.80. And that's, you said it gave us 5, right? That was our multiplier. Now, listen, can you suppose, that is part 4, can you suppose that the economy opens up and they have net exports of 20? What is the new level of income? So which means from where we had, what we had, we just add the net exports. And the net exports simply means exports minus what? Minus imports. So now the economy is opened. How is going to be our income? So it will be Y equals to consumption plus I plus what? Plus G plus the net exports, which is exports minus imports. Okay. And we have our consumption function as 200, right? Plus 0.80 Y minus the taxes of 10 plus the investments is how much? 50, and government expenditure is 100, so we have 150 plus net exports minus imports of 20. Following, eh? Y is equal to. This will give us 350 plus 20, that will be 370, yeah? When you just add 200 plus 150 plus 50 or plus 20, that will be 370 plus 0.80 times Y minus 0.8. Oh, times 10. Sorry. Times this 10. How does it go? It will be 370 plus 0.8 Y minus 8, we said. So that 370 minus 8, it can be 362 equals to 1 minus, Y minus, this is 0.8 Y. Understand, right? You get this Y across the equal sign. So that will be 0.2 Y or 20 Y equals to 362. And you divide through by 0.20 and 0.20 to get Y. What is our new level of Y? What will be our new income if the economy is just opened? Our economy is open. 362 divided by 0.2 Y. What do you get?
1,810.
1810. Thank you very much. That's that. But do you know that common temptation that would have happened is to think that you just have to add the net exports to that 1710 we had found at first. You would have just added, the 20, but this wouldn't have given you the correct answer. So that's why you had to redo the work. Okay. I guess you are fine now. So this is just one of our revision work on national income. This week and the next week we are just revising on the national income. We are not touching. We are revising methodically. We don't want to touch the topics anyhow. Right? So we are doing national income this week and next week. So all the questions are doing, they're just revolving around the national income, so that next time we can cross over to the other topics in that order as we prepare for the final exams.